bots for the win.
Coming up on today's edition of the Bots the Win podcast, we're going to talk about attention in 2019, how to get it, and how bots fit into that equation. Question for you, if I could make you king for the day. In fact, you know what? I just did. You are the king for the day. What you say goes. You get to pick any channel, any one marketing channel, and you get to own it for one day. Your business, your message, you pick the channel to broadcast your message and you own it. Don't worry about the cost. I'm paying for it. What are you going to pick in that situation? Perhaps a huge television buy, a TV ad buy, or would you go with radio? Or would you go Facebook ads all day? Or billboards in your town, Instagram, whatever you like. It's up to you. The world's your oyster, you're king. And whatever you pick though, it's got to be on a cell phone though, right? Like not everybody watches TV or even has cable or has radio or is going to be driving around and seeing billboards. So what about Facebook? Not everybody's going to sign on to Facebook on a given day. Perhaps YouTube's better then. Does everybody watch YouTube? You know, what about a full page advertisement in the fake news New York Times? Like, what would you pick? And I think it's a really interesting thought experiment. You know, take the niche part out of it for a minute, i.e. what you sell and, you know, where your people hang out. Like if you're selling fly fishing rods, you probably want to be in the fly fishing magazine or something, just as an example. But take that out and think about just attention at a macro. You want to get the most of it you can. What would you do? What is the right answer to that question? And as I contemplate that personally, I think generally speaking, it's not just one, right? It's never one. Really, you want to be in as many different venues at the same time as you can. The cost and the bandwidth to do that notwithstanding, you know, if you want the attention, the most effective way to get attention is the omni-channel, be everywhere approach. Why? Things are becoming more and more and more fragmented as time goes on. And I think a great way to think of it is, you know, let's say you're a hunter and you're hunting gazelle in Africa. Good news is that they form really big herds and they always go to the same place. So they're easy to target. They're going to be in the grasslands of East Africa and you got them. That's how it used to be. Now, sadly, these gazelle have decided the big herd thing is no longer for them. Instead, they're going to form thousands and thousands of small herds and spread themselves out through the entire continent. Picture zooming out of East Africa, and now you're looking at the entire continent, the entire globe. Some herds are going to be bigger than others, but they are all over the place. Which is why a Facebook ad is only going to target some. A TV ad will only target some others, and email, and so on and so on. Now, I realize I just cheated and I didn't answer my own question. Now, I've had time to think about this question, so obviously I'm going to win. So I have the answer and what I believe is the correct answer. So what would I choose if I was king for the day and I only had one channel? The emergency broadcast text message system. It's that thing that sends out the Amber Alerts. For the non-U.S. audience, you've probably not received one of these, or maybe you're not even aware of it, but there is a God-level text message system here in the U.S., essentially. And the government can decide when they want to. They either do it like when a kid gets abducted in a certain area, or the government can do it like if it's an emergency, a national emergency. And essentially, every single solitary registered phone gets the message. Not only does every single solitary registered phone get the message, your phone makes a noise you've never heard before. You didn't even know it could make this like alert sound. They're crazy when you get them. I mean, if everybody's in the car, all 6 people are singing it, there is no more effective way to get everybody's attention. So if I was king for the day and I had a hack, that is what I would light up. But let's get back to bots by way of attention. Today's episode is inspired by, sort of builds upon the end of the year episode a couple back. So listen to that one if you haven't. And specifically contemplating whether or not Messenger has formally arrived, whether or not it's going to move from the fringes to the middle, become more widely adopted, whether or not it's formally becoming a thing, as well as whether or not to go all in on Messenger and what that looks like. This also builds on the 1-2 punch combo episode a few episodes back. I'll put links to the stuff in the show notes as always. It also builds upon the recently released bot hack number 5, which was the YouTube Messenger hack. And it's a new year. It's a great time to reflect on 18 and think about what you want to accomplish for 19. And I think as we go forward this year, I need to have this episode in the can so that I can leverage it as a foundation of sorts when it's called for, as it's really sort of fundamental to how I like to market and teach marketing. And lastly, you know, when I talk about attention, I think it's an important distinction here to say It's both. It's both. It's getting cold attention, i.e. people who have never met you or your brand, and it's getting the attention you already have. So, getting the people that are on your list that know you, like you, and trust you to see your messages and to respond to them still is equally difficult, right? It's difficult. So all of this applies to both getting new customers and trying to get your existing customers or, people on your list that haven't purchased yet back. So it applies to both. Now, you heard this expression ahead of its time, right? You've heard that. So I'm going to play you this audio clip, and it's actually from The Office, the TV show The Office, and it's of Ryan when his office was in the closet explaining his new internet startup, which he calls Wuphf. Let me just play it, and then I'll give you the context after it. And this came out, I think, in 2010. I had to go look it up, so I guess technically it's 9 years old now, but let me just play it.
Wuphf is a site that I'm launching to be the last word in social networking. For just $12.99 a month, Wuphf links up all your communication portals so you are always within reach. It's part of the dog pack, as I call it. But look, why tell you when I can show you? I just sent myself a Wuphf.
Ryan, you have a Wuphf on line 1.
Thank you, Aaron. Wuphf.
Wuphf. So obviously this is a podcast, you can't see the video, but essentially he's sitting in his office and there's the phone there, there's the fax machine there, obviously there's Aaron, the reception that called him. Every single solitary imaginable channel got lit up at once. He got an email, he got the fax, he got the instant message on his computer, he got the phone call, he got all of it at once, and that was his concept of Wuphf. And I was like, when I thought about that, I thought about that a whole bunch over the years. I mean, he was ahead of his time on that, because that type of omni-channel marketing, as much as, he was making a joke, he was taking the piss out of it 10 years ago, 9 years ago now, that's really what it takes to effectively get attention, that type of omni-channel marketing. So I really do think he was ahead of the curve. Now, if we're listening to Seth Godin, you could probably disregard this type of tactical by just being remarkable. So feel free to take that route if it applies to you. For the rest of us, trying to hawk some questionable products or services to some unsuspecting customers, yeah, I'm kidding. But let's talk about attention and how to get it. And a great place to start, and staying with my herd of gazelle analogy, let's think through all of the locations the now seriously spread out herds of gazelle, our audience who are after, are. And I think about, all the ways you can potentially get their attention. And let's start with the cell phone, right? Text messages, emails, yes, messenger alerts, phone push notifications, advertising in the major apps people spend their day on: Facebook, Instagram, Google, Snapchat, Twitter, etc. Anything that you have that's app specific to you, have an app of yourself that you can do push notifications on, amazing. Yes, podcasts, people are listening to them, videos, of course, Boo, banner ads that pop up on sites. You want to list out and think through all of the available ways that you can get someone's attention on a cell phone. So to a computer, email, ads in browsers, all kinds, browser push notifications, which I find to be insanely effective, by the way. In-app notifications, things like Intercom or Drift. That's sort of in-app, but chat too. Yes, of course, messenger alerts, and then yes, banner ads are there too. Depending on the nature of your business and your budget, there's TV, there's radio, there's print, there's mail, there's billboards. And so I think our job as marketers is to attempt to leverage as many channels as we feasibly can to be able to send our own Wuphfs, right? And again, why? Because the gazelle are spread out all over the place. Unless you go to where they are when they are there, you're just not in the game. You don't stand a chance at getting any business out of there if no one sees your message. So it's Q1 right now, 2019. It's time for an audit and a plan. I find this to be a hugely helpful exercise in Q1. And I think you identify what you have in your arsenal, list them out, go through that cell phone/phone list and think about all the areas that you have the bandwidth, you have the ability, you have the capacity, you have the special sauce to play in. List out what you have. Then you think through what potential services do you want to add and start growing this year. And perhaps you're emailing only and you wanted to get into Messenger, or if you're on Facebook but not yet active on Instagram, or you're not doing ads, it doesn't matter, okay? It's great. You have what you have, and then you figure out what you want to get into this year. Now, you come up with what the plan looks like, what the regular steps you are going to take all year long to move the attention you do have from the venue to the new venues. That's how you're going to grow the new venue, in addition to acquiring cold traffic in there, right? And I think there's 3 critical concepts underpinning this exercise that I think are so important. Number one, it takes time. You need to have perspective. Email lists are built one subscriber at a time. So too Messenger lists, so too Instagram followers or YouTube subscribers, whatever. It all takes time. Important to know that. Also, effective marketing and getting attention really is the long game. Regardless of the changes your business goes through, you'll hopefully be in business for years and you're always going to need attention. So you just constantly work towards building it. That's number 2. Number 3, diversity, by which I mean moving the attention around, balancing the attention portfolio, if you will. All of the attention that you do have is likely on rented land, right? Even in Messenger, it's rented. Terms can change at any time and likely will. We will likely have to pay to broadcast to subscribers in Messenger in the very near future. Sounds like a very Facebook thing to do to me. How's that organic reach on your Facebook page working out for you? So who knows what's coming? I don't have a crystal ball. Neither does she nor you. So what do? We hedge to protect ourselves, which is moving the attention we do have around to the various different channels to work at that all year long. So let's pivot to how bots fit into this equation. And if you've made it this far in the podcast, then please indulge me. Let's say you agree with me on getting attention is everything. You agree sending Wuphfs or omni-channel marketing, whatever you want to call it, will continue to be a really smart and effective way to think about getting attention in 2019. And you agree thinking, deliberately and strategically, let's just say, through what additional channels you can add to your stack and build throughout the year is a good idea. Okay, so you're on board with that. Then we get to how bots fit into the equation. And I think earlier in the episode, I mentioned this builds on the questions I raised in the end of the year episode. Like, has Messenger arrived? Is it about to become a big thing? Is it worth going all in on? And yes, I believe Messenger has arrived. I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to change everything without question. I think it's the next layer of the internet in many ways. I believe it's worth going all in on. As stated, I believe a Messenger subscriber is currently worth in orders of magnitude more than an email subscriber for a whole range of reasons. I believe Messenger and bots it's a fantastic area to be investing in right now. How long all of that takes to mature, like whether Messenger is even the platform that's the winner, who knows? But I believe the concept of bots, what we're working on here, is absolutely the future. Doesn't matter to me, though. Doesn't matter. Let's say none of what I believe is true. You're skeptical. Yeah, right, Patrick. I've been wrong. Yeah, right, Patrick. You've been wrong lots of times, which is true. I'm wrong all the time. You have no plans, let's just say, to drink any of my Kool-Aid. It's all good. That is all good. That is just another dam of the dams I'm not giving. Why? I don't need any of that jazz to come true. I'm not worried about it in the short term. Right now, and going forward, all I care about is attention. How can I get it, leverage it, and move it around? That is what produces results. That is what produces sales and ultimately grows the business. If bots go big like I think they will, then I have a ton of exposure to them. First mover advantage in winning. If bots peter out and don't live up to the promise, I'll still ride them for the short term till they stop producing attention. Read winning either way, winning any which way you slice it. And I think that's a pretty cool spot to be in. Yes, I do. So right now, Messenger is really good at getting your attention, keeping it, and especially effective at moving it around from one venue to the next. So yes, it has amazing open rates for now anyway. They're going away soon. Market is true and everything. Yes, Messenger gives me an additional channel in which I can broadcast in and get attention. So it's worth building out just in that regard, right? Why bots? Why now? Why Facebook Messenger? This. All of those reasons. Now, this episode is in the can. I feel like I have the foundation in place to be able to reference it as well as build upon it. The 1-2 punch combo, if you heard that one, you now understand that is just a small part of omni-channel marketing, right? Bot hack number 5, the YouTube plus Messenger combo, how you combine those two, same thing. They're examples of leveraging omni-channel marketing to get attention. These things are extremely effective on their own. Start layering them up, by which I mean all of them strategically together, the whole arsenal. You do that and you are cooking with gas. Learn to do that and you're going to be more effective at getting attention than your competitors. You're going to pay less for it, make money, etc., etc., etc. So thank you for suffering through what was not a normal super tactical bots for the win episode, but I feel like I needed this one to set the foundation. And so as we venture forth in the year of our Lord 2019, you can expect a ton of content on how to market in this fashion. more creative ways to layer the various ways of getting attention together, to bolt one onto the other, to put them all in the boat and rowing in the same direction, and how we can best leverage Messenger to do this, and especially how we can leverage Messenger to move the attention we do own around, spread it around, rebalance the attention portfolio. So if all of that sounds like your type of beer, then get into my bot. The easiest way to do that, pull out your phone, open Messenger, search for Bots for the Win. Come say hi when you get in there too. I answer personally to all of them. On that note, thanks for listening. And as always, have a great day. Thanks for checking out that video. I hope you got a ton of value out of it. If you did, I would be elated, thrilled, over the moon. If you consider subscribing, you can do that by hitting the subscribe button below. Also, this entire operation is about bots. I mean, what are we doing here? So the best way to learn about it, to see the best stuff that I share, is to get into my bot. You can do that by pulling out your phone. It's in your pocket right now. Open Messenger, search for Bots for the Win, click Get Started, and I'll see you in the bot. I share a ton of unique killer stuff in there. Patrick, Bots for the Win. Thanks for watching my video on YouTube. The question becomes, what are you going to do next? Are you going to watch a new one? Because
it'd be a lot cooler if you did.